What up? What is going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another Mock Draft Monday. Actually putting it up on a Monday this time, at least I hope so. I'm making this before Monday, so as long as I have a couple minutes on Monday, it'll go up. So, this one is going to be another one of those leagues I like. Standard scoring, 12-team league, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, a tight end to flex, defense kicker. Actually, in my leagues, I don't use a kicker, but I just kept it on there. It's the last round anyways. And 5 bench. So, let's get into it. I'm in the 12 spot, which is a position I really like. Generally, most years, I haven't done a mock draft in every position yet, so I can't say it's my most favorite. But I do like the way this team ended up. So, first pick I have ends up being A.J. Green. I love A.J. Green this year. It seems every year people are down on A.J. All the man does is get you 1,010 touchdowns. And the thing is, it's nothing special really when it happens. Like, last year I owned A.J. Green. At the end of the year, I was like, man, he didn't have that great of a year. I think I got him in the second round. I think Demaryius is my first round pick. And I was like, he didn't have a great year. And then I look at the numbers, and it's pretty good. So it does come in bunches. I mean, I had that, 250 game or one? I mean, it was probably 150. I'm probably exaggerating. But he had 150 and 2 touchdowns, and next week he'll have 40. So he does have it in spurts. But I think with Tyler Eifert getting hurt this year, they're losing the number 2 wide receiver on that team. I think he's going to even uptick in his targets. And you know what? If you're going to tell me the guy you draft in the first round is getting 1,210 touchdowns, I'm going to take it. Because I know that he's going to be a rock for me this year. So I love A.J. Green at that pick. I'm looking at my rankings, right? He's 6th. So right now, my little spoiler here. I'm going to be doing a wide receiver ranking, but right now my rankings are Antonio Brown at the 1, then Julio, Odell, Hopkins, Alshon, and then A.J. So I have A.J. at 6. Then, with my next pick, right around the corner, I get the guy I have ranked 7th, and that's Jordy Nelson. And I think Jordy is going to do great this year, mainly on the fact that he does good every year that he's healthy, it seems like. I mean, he's the go-to guy for Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers is a bounce-back year. I'm not too high on Lacy, but I mean, where you're getting him right now, it's not a terrible pick. I haven't gotten him in any of the mock drafts, but if you can get him probably 3rd round, maybe draft 2 wide receivers, then get Lacy, perfectly fine with that. So I did pick Jordy here. I think Cobb also is a good guy. I was going to draft him in the 3rd or 4th round, wherever I had him, possibility, but I didn't want having both of them on the team. So that is something you want to watch out for. Don't have Jordy and Cobb on the same team. That is a pretty big risk you're taking. But I think taking Jordy right here is great. Pairing him up with A.J. Green, I mean, you can't go wrong there. Then it's a lot of picks go by before I see my next one, and it's T.Y. And I picked T.Y. because I am thinking that there's going to be a bounce-back year for Andrew Luck. He did awful last year, and T.Y. still posted good numbers. I really don't know what the numbers were. I believe it was around either 1,000 or 1,100 and 4 touchdowns, but that was with Hasselbeck for most of the year. And obviously, I don't care what you say about Luck. He's not as good as people make him out to be, but I don't care what you say. He's better than Hasselbeck. So he's going to do fine this year as my number 3 wide receiver in a 12-team league. I mean, I've just made a monster here with my first 3 picks. And, this is basically the RB0 strategy. I'd say the first 4 would be RB0. So this is almost like RB1. But I'd say I did have a comment in one of my other videos that is very true, and that is that a lot of people are going to be implementing the RB0 strategy this year in particular, just because they were burned last year. Because last year was a little bit of an aberration with so many of the top guys getting hurt and just not playing good. So you are going to find situations where you're sitting there at 12, where I was here, and a star running back has fallen because people are reaching way too far for those wide receivers because they think they need to. So always be aware of that. If the elite running backs do fall to you that late, you got to take them. But I didn't do that in this draft just because I like the guys who were there. So with my 4th pick, Matt Jones, I love Matt Jones as the number 1. Okay, a number 1 if you've done what I've done, and that is draft 3 elite wide receivers. I mean, Alfred's gone. He's in Dallas now, behind Ezekiel Elliott. That was a really good fit for him, I think. It was a 1-2 punch there. But he has no competition right now. He has, I think, Chris Thompson's the guy's name. But he's a 3rd down guy. And honestly, Matt Jones is a 3rd down guy, too. He can catch really well. He's explosive. He's fast. He's huge. He almost reminds you a little bit of a Marshawn Lynch, a little bit different body structure. Obviously not as skilled as Marshawn Lynch is, and we haven't seen it, but he's a guy that that's who I would compare him to. Um, I mean, it's a great fit for an offense if the offense gets going. They have a lot of weapons, but no like elite weapons, I guess. Like they don't have an elite number one wide receiver. They just have a lot of solid talents. They got Deshaun going deep. They just drafted Doxson, I believe. I hope I'm right there, but I'm pretty sure it's Doxson. Garcon is still there. So they've got a lot of talent. He's the number one guy right now. He has the potential to be a bell cow, and when you can get a bell cow in the 4th round, you got to take it. So that's where I took there. Then it's a lot more picks. So my 5th round pick in Jordan Matthews. I like picking him this year, especially he'd be my flex guy at this point. There weren't any running backs that I was too crazy about, so I went with him. He did fine in the second half of last year. He just did so bad in the beginning that people that drafted him remember that a lot. And when you look at the end of the year numbers, they're not that great. But the second half of the year was a lot better. I think this will be his 3rd year, I believe, and that's generally a decent year for wide receivers. Maybe Aguilar does a little bit better, helping him out as the number 2. But Ertz should be a little better this year. He's a guy I'm targeting late too. But I think that offense will improve from what they did last year. I mean, there's really only up from last year. They didn't do that great. And I think they're going to get away from DeMarco too. I mean, obviously they're getting away from DeMarco, but like the style of play that DeMarco brings is just not suitable for that team. I think Ryan Matthews is a better fit at running back. So I think the team will overall perform better than they did in that past season. So I think taking him as especially a flex guy, perfectly fine. 6th round, I picked up my boy Dion Lewis. As you guys hopefully know, I don't really know. I'm a Patriots fan. Love Dion Lewis. He's such a great running back. Reminds me a lot of Woodhead, Shane Vereen. Those guys, I don't know why we got rid of Woodhead. I don't understand that. He's a guy you should definitely be targeting in drafts for San Diego, but don't know why we got Woodhead. But we now have Lewis, and as long as he stays healthy, he's a monster, especially in PPR. But I think he just fits the offense in New England so well. I mean, they split him out wide so often that he's basically a wide receiver you're getting at running back. Because, I mean, he has games where he has like 3 carries for like 15 yards, but he also has like 6 catches for 50 yards. And they use him in the red zone. He does catch touchdowns. He does run for touchdowns. So I think in that offense this year is going to be a monster too. I mean, bringing in Martellus Bennett. We drafted a wide receiver, I think Mitchell, like Malcolm Mitchell or something like that. He should be number 3, number 4, somewhere around there. And obviously Brady. Yeah, Brady up at quarterback. I mean, the running lanes will be open. So love Lewis as a number 2. Couple more picks. 7, Amir Abdullah. These next 2 picks, Amir Abdullah and Duke Johnson, let's talk about them together. These are more lottery picks. Middle rounds, they don't need to pan out that great because, I mean, I'm not even starting these 2 guys because I already have my 2 running backs and my flex filled up. So these are guys that have potential. Amir Abdullah has potential to be fantastic. I mean, he's got all the opportunity. I believe it's like Zach Zenner or something. He's still there, but Bell's gone. So you would think that Abdullah has the talent to beat out the guys that are there. In an offense that should be fine without Calvin, they just brought in Marvin Jones. I think they'll be fine. So it's pure upside there. And pure upside with Duke Johnson because he caught like 60-something balls last year. He has potential to catch like 70 or 80. He's not going to be the number 1. Isaiah Crowell should win that job. But, I mean, you never know what Kaepernick's going to do. So that's an upside pick as well. Next pick is a guy I'm targeting a lot, Eli Manning. And I'll talk again about 9 and 10 together. I picked Manning and Rivers just because I like waiting on the quarterback, and I'm just going to stream these guys. Whoever has a better matchup, whoever's hot, that's who I'm going to start. I mean, Eli's got a lot of weapons, it seems like. He's got like 16 running backs. But, I mean, he's got Odell. He has a decent tight end, Larry Donald. I think they got another guy, too. I don't know his name. So a little bit of depth there. And then, of course, they drafted a wide receiver this year, so Sterling Shepard. So they're going to be a really good offense, and he does good every year. He's never hurt, so I don't even know if he's ever missed a game, to be honest. So he'll always be there for me. Rivers, I picked up. He doesn't have a ton of options. Obviously, it'll be better than the end of last year was because Keenan Allen was hurt. But he did lose Ladarius Green, and I know Antonio Gates is like 75, 80 years old, somewhere around there. So he doesn't have a ton of options, but every year, I mean, he's consistent. he puts up tons of yards, and their defense ain't that good, so they're going to be throwing the ball. I like these 2 picks here. Can't really go wrong with them, drafting both of them in your draft, especially getting them late. So next, 11th round, I went with Dwayne Allen, and I really like him this year. Colby Fleener went to the Saints, so that was basically the problem with Fleener and Allen, in that there's 2 of them, and they're both used, so the numbers kind of they change week to week who's going to be the guy. And I think in the 11th round, this is where you should be taking your tight end. You could argue if a guy falls to you in like the 8th, taking that, or like 7th, 8th, taking a really good guy. But I'm fine with just taking shots. You see, I also got Zach Miller in the next round. I like doing this. Take 9, 12. The 9th and 10th round, maybe taking the 2 quarterbacks, and then 11th, 12th. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm going to start that over. 9th and 10th round, taking 2 quarterbacks. 11th and 12th round, taking 2 tight ends. And I think Dwayne Allen has upside. I think Zach Miller has upside. And that I got in the 12th round. I mean, Martellus Bennett's in New England now, so he had like 404 touchdowns, I believe, last year. Miller did, as the backup. So you'd think he'd take a lot of targets that Bennett was taking. I mean, Bennett had 100-some targets every year. That's going to basically go to Miller. And they use the tight end in that offense. They also lost Forte. The running backs behind Forte aren't that great. I mean, I'm not drafting Langford in any leagues, so I like those 2 picks there. Next round, 13th, Chris Thompson. I basically took that as a handcuff for Matt Jones. As I said earlier, he is the 3rd down guy, and I guess he'd be the guy, at least of right now, if Matt Jones got hurt, because there really wasn't anyone else that I was going to be taking there. And then 14th, 15th, I always just take defense and a kicker. I took the Patriots. And then I can't even see the screen right there, Santos. So it honestly doesn't matter, the kickers. Just basically, I'm not going to do kicker rankings. Just look at the ESPN. Take a guy on a good team. I mean, the Chiefs, they're probably going to score a decent amount of points, I guess. So just take a kicker on a good team. Doesn't really matter if they're a good kicker. So that's the end of the mock draft. This is my team. Got Manning as a quarterback. I mean, I guess it depends early if I'm going to start Rivers. I mean, it's a mock draft, so I'm not doing any of them. But if I would start Rivers and Manning. Matt Jones, Dion Lewis. Then my monster wide receivers, A.J. Green, Jordy Nelson, T.Y., and Jordan Matthews. Defense kicker doesn't matter. Dwayne Allen at tight end with Zach Miller as a backup. And then upside running backs in Thompson, Johnson, and Abdullah. That's the end of the video. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching this far. If you did like it, hit that like button. Really helps me out. Drop a comment. Tell me maybe some picks you would have done differently if you were taking this mock draft. And thanks for watching.